Welcome back, guys, for another episode of Pole Barn Garage. And you'll see, it's back. We got some things to wrap up on the old Holey Goat here before we can move on to JD's car and then the Roadrunner. I got to wrap up a few things. Oh, okay. I don't have to, but just for my own mind's sake, I hate leaving things unfinished. Well, you know what I mean. On the agenda today, it needs door panels in the front. These are door panels for something else. We need to make them fit. The only reason I'm using them is A, I don't have any. B, they're plastic, so they'll be waterproof. And I think if we can cut them and make them work, that would be a good alternative to buying some and then just having them be ruined. On the agenda number 2, Frank McCart at rivet_in_F100, I think, on Instagram and TikTok, sent me this sweet CB radio and antenna. So we got to put that in there for sure. It's got the bracket, speaker, everything. Glenn, down in Florida, a long time ago, sent me this hood tack housing. And this is probably where we'll start. It's just the housing, no guts. And I'm not going to spend a bunch of money to try and make a hood tack work. But I want the look. So I have this piece of plexiglass, and we're going to make a lens for this and try to make it look like a facsimile of a hood tack and then bolt it onto the car, just to give it a little more of that GTO vibe. Let's dig in and get started. You can see the lens goes in this little groove here. So I'm just going to take a screwdriver and scrape out this old silicone before we get started. So what we're going to do here is line that up with the edge of the plexiglass and just get our shape out of it. Like that, roughly. And then we'll draw along the outside of it. And somewhere in between here is where we're going to need to be, I reckon. We could probably make it fit and we can finesse it later. So this is, of course, the wrong tool for the job, which makes it ideal. Yeah, there we go. You can see here we got our rough cut. Kind of gives you an idea of how it'll be. Let's go clean this up and see how it fits. Take a little bit off the top, Jack. And there's our finished result. Ta-da! We're gonna paint all this black in here. I wrote thank you Glenn on it, like I do with all the things that I'm sent. You know, on the topic of Glenn, he's a great guy. He hopped on the channel pretty early, and I talk to him every now and again, and he's got a, I think he says a 69 GTO convertible. Ram Air car, really well optioned car. And he lives in Florida and asked if I'd be interested in going to get it running and driving for the first time since 1995. And I think I would be. I'll let you guys let me know down in the comments. Would you be interested in seeing like a rescue kind of thing? You know, definitely out of the norm of what we normally do, but mull it over. See what you think. Lord knows I could use a suntan. Glenn, thankfully, had the foresight to think ahead. And he thinks a little bit like I do, because he just sent me this printout of this tack. Perfect, right? Now I just got to figure out how to attach that to this. Aha! To attach our completely legitimate lens here, I'm just going to use basic Scotch tape. I know it'll probably fade and yellow and stuff, but it'll get us by for a while, and frankly, if it looks like crap, it'll just fit in even better. I see no problem. Just cover the whole paper backing in this to give it a little bit of protection, right? Perfect, it's genius. Now we'll paint the back side just to blend it in. The paper didn't quite cover. I used vinyl dye, figured that would be better on the plastic. Well, we got, oh fudge, it's still wet. Ugh. Oh, crying out loud, come on, get off of me. Anywho, here we go, see that? Boom. It's a real deal. We'll just put some snot on there and install it. Yes, the serum is ready. So I figure what I'll do is just, glob this whole groove full of this magical serum here. Will it epoxy to the hood? Nah, I would never just half-ass something like that. Slab that in there. Voila. Instant hood tech. No one will ever know, except for you guys. Keep your mouth shut, alright? Well, I guess we'll just let that set up and I'll quit messing with it. Now while we're waiting on the epoxy to set up there on the Tach, we can go ahead and install our antenna back here for the CB. And the traditional place to mount this would be either the bumper or like the trunk right here. And the higher it is, the more likely it'll actually work. And I always prefer it on the trunk myself, but we can't do that because this trunk is pinned on. And on the bumper, I just thought it doesn't give me joyful feelings. So I think what I'm going to do is mount it right here on the little cowl piece here. And that'll give us the vibe of being on the trunk, but we can leave it attached. Now, I don't want to alarm any of you guys, but I'm going to have to drill a hole in this pristine sheet metal. And I know it's going to cause a lot of pain, but, we do what we have to do. What I did is I took the coax cable apart, so we only got to drill a little hole. I'd like to hide the cord underneath, Now this design is highly ergonomic. It's engineered with comfort in mind. Get to that hole. There we go. Now it's been a minute or two, but I think you can just poke it right back through there and we should get the job done. For that to sit totally flush. Do I care? Not really. Alright, good enough. Well, this compression fitting is wasted, so I super glued it. Alright, it is now the next day, and everything's nice and dry, cured up real nice. It's sturdy in there. I started some screws into these holes. Now this is supposed to have a whole nother piece to it, right? I mean, that has studs on it, and this screws down to a flat piece that's got all the guts of the Tach and stuff in it. But well, we don't have that, obviously, and well, I don't care to make it. So what we're gonna do is we'll just bolt this directly to the hood using a cardboard template. And so with those screws sticking out a little bit, just depress this, break the hood of the car, but we should leave, or it won't work at all. Let's try this. If we color the heads of these things, maybe they'll stay wet enough to transfer over to the cardboard. Aha! It worked. So we'll poke those holes out and use that as our template. See the dots? Right there, and there, and there, and there. Fabrication 101 dictates that always use a drill bit that is approximately 3 times the size of the fastener you are trying to use. Now we do need to label which way is front and back because they are staggered in a fashion that would indicate that they are not symmetrical. We're going to draw an arrow here indicating that that is, front being towards the windshield. And then we're going to outline this whole shebang here. That way we can appropriately eyeball where we're going to put it. See that? Now we know how the Tach looks, and that'll let us eyeball a little bit better. You know, I'm not going to go measure and see where exactly this thing's supposed to be. I'm just going to put it wherever feels right, and that's probably, you know, there. We have it where we want it, right? So we will tape our template down to make sure it doesn't go running away. Hopefully that doesn't pop the paint off of it. Good. That was a brace for sure. Guess I didn't actually look underneath it. 2 out of 4 ain't bad. Ain't that what Meatloaf said? I actually got that pretty close. It's supposed to be just a little bit further back. But considering I didn't even open the hood, not bad. Now get off of there. Get all those metal shavings off of there. Don't want it to rust. Dang it. Oh, God, I forgot how sharp this car is. Well, there we go. Long story short, I got one screw in it and all the other ones broke. So it's fine. Doesn't seem to be going anywhere. And if it does, well, it's a piece of printer paper and some fiberglass. It'll be all right. I tell you what, the panel alignment on this car is just terrible. Who did this? So this is likewise ready to rock. I'm pretty sure that's where I want it. So let's just eyeball it. Yeah, that should attract some lightning. So I'm just going to go ahead and shoot a self-tapper in it. And we'll use another one for safety. Just put it on. Boom. If I can bend it some. Please don't stab. Please don't stab. Yeah, that'll work probably. It'll bend naturally. We gotta snake this cable through the trunk. We'll probably just try to follow along the battery cable. I don't want to crawl in there. Please don't make me. Oh, God. Hopefully I can find it in here. And we'll just hide it up here. I don't know where I'm going to put the thing yet, on account of the big old honking 8-track player. I kind of dig it down here, I guess. I mean, it's just barely out of the way, but there's not really anywhere else to put it. And it looks kind of 70s-ish with, you know, the 8-track player stacked on it. So I'm going to just shoot it down there, tighten it down, and then we'll wire it up and see if it even works. So what I've done here is kind of eyeballed and marked where I think I need to put this. Now I've got these little thread coupler things that are just about the right height. I think we could make a couple little stanchions out of those, and then we will, you know, just bolt the whole shebang down to this, which is metal. You know, then honestly, it's so wedged in there, I think it'll probably hold itself. So I guess I'm just gonna go ahead and use a drywall screw for this. 3.5 incher. Oh, what did I do with that spacer? I was sitting on it. It's always the first place you should look, under your butt. Hopefully I eyeballed that correctly. Roll away a little bit. It's okay, I work well under pressure. There's a pond out there that'll stop us. That was the trunk. Oops. Pretty dang sturdy now. Plus it'll help hold the console and 8-track in. Symbiosis. I think that's what that's called. And again, you guys that have been around for a minute will recall how I stashed all the car's extra wiring up inside this hole. So let's just find us a good one. Thankfully I can see it right through this vent hole here. And this one says power accessory. One big plus to this car is that routing wires is very easy. You just kind of pick a hole and go for it. Alright, let's see if it works. We're in a tin building, so I don't expect a whole lot. Breaker 19. Oh, hey. Breaker 18, this here's the goat. Come on. Well, I heard somebody on there, so that's kind of cool. And we got like the premier 1978 setup here. Next on the agenda is going to be door panels. Now, this isn't really for appearances or anything like that. Frankly, it's to keep yourself from getting cheese grated as you drive down the road, because it is incredibly painful if you touch these doors while the car's moving. So, these are obviously not right. And a while back I did some trimming on this one, just trying to get it eyeballed to where I want it. And they fit like sort of reasonably well. I think they're out of a Ventura. Anyway, it just needs some persuasion to get them to fit. So here's our issue, is it does fit reasonably well, but it holds the door open. And due to our unique door latch system here, we can't really have that. It needs to be able to shut fairly easy from the inside, and it does not. Pretty much just got to figure out where it's touching and then chop it off wherever it's touching. And so I think we need to cut this edge down a little bit more. Probably the front edge needs to be trimmed right around here. I got a Sharpie right here, so let's just, we could probably take that off down to there. This is not going to be perfect by any stretch, but boy, it'll sure beat the hell out of getting shredded. Right, let's just massage this a little. So it's right there. That should be fine. You know, fine is a very loose term here. Before I remove this, I'm gonna just make a witness mark of where it was. Window crank needs to go goodbye. I think we need to take just a bit more off of this front side. Oh yeah, there we go. That's it right there. So now we'll just attach it, and you know, we'll use the only real way to do that, which is to just shoot a couple of self-tappers in it. It could use tied on down low, but let's test fit one more time. I'll probably pull it back off. We'll dye it black so it sort of blends in. I think that's as good as I'm getting it. Nothing's ever perfect when it comes to this, but it works fine. Door technically stays shut. That will make riding in the car like that much better. So let's pull it back out and get it sprayed black, and then we'll work on the other side. I don't think I could even use this as a template for the other side, just being as the whole car is so screwed. Actually, I'm going to mask off these a little bit. Little window felt. Well, not much left of that one, was there? Anyway, I want to mask off the window felt, keep that trim there, and then the door lock grommet, even though we don't have door locks, just kind of gives a little more appearance of normalcy. Do the old prep saw trick on it, and hopefully that'll let something stick here. I mean, it don't gotta be good, it's just gotta be good enough. All grease. See that? That's why you clean things before you try and paint them. Good Lord. What the hell kind of... These things come out of the Valdez oil spill or something? Remember guys, a couple of sheetrock screws into your roof studs. That's paint booth. And again, always just light coats. So just give it one real light coat, and this whole thing is fisheyeing, top to bottom. That's good. Let this kind of tack up, and it'll give the next layer something to grab on, especially whenever your surface prep is less than ideal. And then I like to cross hatch when I do like door panels and stuff. Because sometimes they've always got like weird edges and ridges and stuff that are kind of hard to get into. So if you kind of like alternate your patterns, you won't stripe vinyl dye. So there's nothing to worry about there. You can be a little more assured that you're getting it covered. I made a discovery. If I grab the window actuator, or you know, whatever lever thing, it turns on the lights. Well, the switch is off over there, and it only turns on like half the lights. So I turn the switch on, it lights up the trunk and that door, and this side had quit working. Which, you know, okay, fine, it lost its ground or something, or it got pinched. Except for, there's no power. Ow. Like, that's not bleeding off, that's bright. How is that even possible? Did I do something different? How heavily was I drinking in that episode? No, I'm just gonna go ahead and ignore that, and we'll see if we got anywhere with this. Bizarrely, we're actually a little closer on this side than the others. Needs trimmed a little bit up top here, and the front edge needs trimmed quite a bit. But while it's closed, I'm going to go ahead and make a mark. Again, we're shooting for, you know, less bad. That's all we really want out of this. And I should probably fix these lights while I'm at it. I do not understand how that is. I mean, how it. Oh, I just broke them. Okay, problem solved. Allow me to gently massage this. Done. That's plenty good enough. I mean, does it fit? Oh, but, you know, whatever. It's good enough for this. And again, better than being shredded like cheddar. And let's go get it dyed up, and then I'm going to bed. Go ahead and install these bad boys. Probably shoot a few additional self-tappers. Must be pretty close to where it was. Maybe another one up here, just to be safe. There, that bit into something good. Comfort improved by exponential numbers, right? I mean, probably 3,000%, I would say, at least. The white around the edges is bugging me. You know, my perfectionist is coming out, I guess. So I'm just gonna, you know, blend it in. Much better. From a distance, you never know. See what I mean? You can't even tell with the door shut. This one was a little more strict because of the, you know, missing everything part. Enter the lap of luxury. Wow. Wow. It's amazing. That is way more gooder. So let's blend it in. Can't even tell. It's fine. Another viewer was kind enough to send me a rear license plate slash fuel filler door thingy. For some reason he must have felt that this wasn't adequate. I don't understand why. It seems fine to me, but hey, you know, I guess some people are just a little bit picky. Anyway, we'll swap that out. Aha. Well, that makes it easy. Look how shiny that is underneath there. Guess I'll remove my patented latch system. It was just held on with a couple of self-tappers. Well, I'm going to mount the new, field door license plate thingy-mabobber. And JD's going to pop off the old Texas license plate off of the original, so we can keep that around, of course. Aha! Yeah, so that's how that's supposed to work. Alright, good work. Tested. Yep. Functional. Last thing we're going to do for now is a modulator valve, which this thing desperately needs. It does not like to shift. We have here is a modulator valve. And basically what happens is the engine uses engine vacuum, which is sucking pressure. It, moves something in here and magic happens, and then the transmission shifts. One thing you can do on these, even the replacement ones, have this little set screw on the side, inside of here. And if you turn it to the right a little bit, it'll shift at higher RPM. If you turn it to the left a little bit, it'll shift at lower RPM. So let me bust out the tuning software here to calibrate our shift points. Okay, we're done. And we can just install it now with our performance tuned transmission. That's a modulator valve there. And you can see that it looks like crap. When you change these, you gotta have cat-like reflexes, because it's gonna go splooging. And we're just gonna loosen it up. And we're gonna loosen the bracket that holds it on. Now, the moment of truth. Yep. It never. Oh, freak! The O-ring is still in there, isn't it? There's an O-ring on these things, and this one stayed behind on us. There we go. That would have leaked for sure. Slide your bracket back on. I said you can just slide the bracket. I said just slide the bracket back on. This is why you should probably clean things before you put them back together, but some of us like to live on the edge. And there we go. Done. I think that's going to do it for this one, guys. Just wrapping up some loose ends on the old GTO here before we get started on JD's 59 Ford. And body and paint and V8 swap on that. Then we're going to roll into the Rolledrunner. And that's going to be a whole nother adventure. So you're going to see plenty more of this. It's not going anywhere. I'm just waiting on getting the tags back. I'm pretty sure they're going to mail out soon. And then we can go take this thing out into public legally. And that's going to be pretty fun. So if you like what you see in here, you like what you'll see on the channel and the other projects, and this is pretty much my style, so go ahead and hit that like and subscribe and hit the bell, and we're going to see you next time on Pole Barn Garage.